to start the recording. Hey, Sharon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Autumnal Equinox 2020. It's Monday, September 21st, and we are in the Autumnal Equinox window. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. And then when you would like to speak, by all means, please do so. Okay. So, as is always the case with my computer, sometimes it's a little slow in flipping slides, but here we go. So let's call in some sacred space at this most precious time of the year. And if you will, put your feet on the ground, close to Mother Earth as you are, and feel her beautiful abundance beneath your feet. And as you connect with the element of earth, understand that this is now another time of the turning of the wheel of the year as we move into autumn. Such a gracious and lovely and beautiful time of the year when Mother changes her clothing and gets ready for winter. Before she goes bare, she lets us see the radiance of who she is as she ages into the later part of the year. And we see her brilliance, her golds, her ambers, reds, yellows. We embrace it. We love the colors. We thank her for this beautiful patchwork, the art that is the beloved planet on which we live. As we call in the energy of water, we embrace all of our feelings at this time of year. The joy of having gone through a magnificent, abundant summer, and a slight tinge of sadness as we move into winter away from some of the abundance, but joyful in knowing that what lies ahead will be for our highest good, that we will, in the months to come, we will uncover secrets about ourselves, wishes, plans, all things that we might not do when we're so active in the summer. So we allow water to expand our feelings and our emotions beyond what we normally do. We welcome air, the cool breezes that sift through our hair as we watch leaves dancing in the breeze and eventually letting go of their branches and swirling in a dance down to the ground. We invite air to help us set the most beautiful intentions for how we will use this time going forward, how we will go inward and discover with imagination, with clarity of thought, what is to come. We invite fire to warm us, and we watch the sun as it plays on the colors of the leaves, as it dances, as it sparkles and shimmers. And we thank fire for keeping us warm as the nights become a little chill. We invite spirit to dance with us through this season, to help us embrace all the gifts of this time of year, to protect us, to shelter us, and to always hold us gently in its embrace. We call on the ancestors, our guides, our teachers. We ask them, please help us to learn more. Help us to open more. Help us to step wisely into this time of great introspection. And just take a moment to call in for yourself what else you would like us to have in the circle today. And so it is. Wow. Okay, so the harvest is over. What now? So it's time for us to create within yet another space of hollow bone or hollow reed, if you will, where we create room within ourselves that is free of preconceived notions and free of judgment. It's an empty space where we may receive beautiful downloads and messages from all the elements and from spirit. This is the time when we take that inner journey. We're going to go into a time that's a little colder and a little darker. And we go into hibernation. But by doing this, what is happening for us is that we're expanding on the inner realm. We're becoming more and more of who we know that we can be, with new ideas. And so as we do this work, the excitement of what it can be and who we can grow into is going to make this time go more quickly. It's going to give this time something so special and sacred that belongs only to you. And that's what the time coming up is all about. One of the favorite things I love to do, you wouldn't know it if you knew me, but it's to sit in the quiet and to listen to what is trying to come through, because each of us has so much that needs to come through, that the world wants to hear from us. And so this is the time. What I like to say is, in the silence, in the silence, in the silence. So let's just take a moment of silence and see if you can create within yourself a spaciousness, a place where there's room for your mind, your imagination, your dreams, your wishes to all expand. Make it a space within yourself that's free of judgment about yourself and others. So let's just do that for a minute, if you will. Just close your eyes for a moment in the silence. And take now 3 deep breaths. And feel that space expand even more. Opening to your greaterness, opening to all that you can be. and know that answers will come to you. It's not a struggle. It's just an opening. I hope you got some room. I hope you were able to open to the hollow bone within, be totally receptive to what may surprise you as it comes in. So at a deeper spiritual level, equinox is thought to represent the period of struggle between darkness and light, death and life. It occurs when night and day will be equal, and the journey of the sun to actually get there also signifies the journey of the universe. So it's as within, so without, as above, so below, as the universe, so the soul. The elements have an awful lot to teach us about the balance that we're experiencing at this time of equal darkness and equal light. And it's really recommended, if at all possible, if you can go out, be outside on the ground at the moments before and the moments immediately after the equinox, will help to balance you as well. So find out what the time is in your neck of the woods, and make it a point to go out and do, as Judy says, sit down on Mother Earth and feel the balance within yourself. So elementally, there are a lot of teachings that we have from these various sources that will help us balance. And usually by this time of the year, some of us may have some imbalances that we're needing to work with. So Earth is teaching us about rest and activity, and many of us have not been as active over the last few months as we were before. We've kind of been sequestered, if you will, and maybe not as active as we've been. So speak with Mother Earth and ask her how you might better balance your rest and activity by honoring the cycles of work and play, the wheel of the year, honoring the seasons, the cycles. So just by being here today, you're doing that. You're honoring the autumnal equinox and watching as the wheel of the year turns yet again towards the final harvest, towards the Day of the Dead at Halloween. And I've got a couple of chats, so let me check and see what that is. Okay, 9:31 tomorrow morning, September 22nd in Atlanta, so that's Eastern time. Are you nurturing your body and your soul? Let's just think about that for a moment. You know, summertime, we're a little more active. We enjoy being out. The question is, are you doing for your body what you've been doing for your soul? So take just a minute and consider how you're going to balance the earth within, the earth without, and drop into the chat, if you will, something that might help others in balancing the earthly realm as we come into this time of the equinox. So I'll look for some messages. If you want to chime in, please unmute yourself. And what are some ways that you can nurture body and soul and bring them into deeper alignment? Okay. Slow movement This is from Judy. Thank you, Lisa and Sin. I'm starting a slow movement exercise program. Gosh, that's perfect, Judy. Love it. Yeah, wonderful. Anyone else? Slow movement exercise program. It kind of brings up a Tai Chi or a Qigong. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, Catherine's given a thumbs up on that one. Showing gratitude and love to my body every day. Nanette, thank you. Epsom salt bath. Catherine, thank you. Lovely. Cutting out the excess of sugar from my foods. Oh, wonderful. Focusing on the abundance of the season. Beautiful ideas, Sharon. Victoria, thank you so much. Wow. Gave me some good ideas. Okay. Self-Reiki and riding my bike in nature. Thank you, Kristen. Sue Ann, I will continue my Sabbath practice every week, really cutting loose from media and doing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sandra says, I went for a 55-minute maiden walk this morning, left the weeds in the branches where they grew and fell. Wow. Y'all are pretty magnificent. Thank you so much. Whew, got goosebumps. Okay, moving on. Oh, wait, we have another one. Get this up. What is a maiden walk? Sue Ann wants to know what a maiden walk is. Sandra, do you want to unmute yourself, honey, and share that with us?
The first one I've done in a long time.
So tell us what that is.
Can you hear me? The first one I've done in a long time. I've been spending my outdoor time working in the yard instead of enjoying it.
So how is a maiden walk different than just a walk in the woods?
My first one for the rest of my life.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so it's your maiden voyage, huh?
Yeah, it's the first one I've done in a long time. I guess since COVID.
Wow, lovely. Thank you. Great idea. Okay. So as soon as I get my loving computer to move forward, thank you all for your patience. It sometimes doesn't want to do what I want it to do. So, hooray. Balancing water. Now, we have so much going on in the world, so much that will play with our emotions and trigger us. And I'm just wondering, are you honoring the joy as well as the sad things? Can you, for example, if you were a fan of RBG's and her passing brought some sadness, I'm trying to balance it with the joy of who she was, what she accomplished, and how she helped humanity. Are you taking time to play? You know, is that something that you put on your schedule? And if so, how do you play? And are you ebbing and flowing with what's happening in the world? Are you able to go with the current and then come back as well? Or are you being swept along with a current that doesn't serve you? So water is asking us to really look at all of these aspects of what she teaches. And I'd love to hear from you how you're honoring joy and sorrow, or how you're taking time to play. Or if you're able to keep yourself from being swept away by the torrents of emotional water that's flowing through the world at the moment. So you can either uh, jot in the chat or unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear from you.
This is Catherine.
Bonnie? Oh,
Go ahead.
Bonnie, hey, this is Cynthia. Hi, everyone. I'm trying to be mindful. Hi. When I'm washing my hands with COVID, this has taken on an additional significance. And I give thanks for the flow of water. And I'm mindful when I wash my hands that I'm being a good steward of protecting myself against the cooties and giving thanks for that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia.
And this is
Lisa Kaufman says she's letting the feelings come in and flow out like the tides. Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you.
And I just signed up for tickets to the New Sandy Springs Theater. They're having streaming concerts in September, October, and December. So I signed up for that because I needed entertainment and to be involved with theater again. That's one way of doing it.
Great. Thanks, Catherine. Nanette is focusing on the work that she loves, which is writing, editing, and publishing, rather than the chaos around me. And they're doing jigsaw puzzles, which is her play. So if you've seen Nanette on Facebook with the pictures of her puzzles, they're pretty 2,000-piece puzzles. Pretty awesome. Victoria, learning the ebb and flow of mental, emotional, and spiritual energies, letting political chaos drain out and refill my spirit with peace, truth, and love. Awesome. Fabulous. Thank you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyone else?
Bonnie?
Yes. Hi, Melinda.
Hi. Last night, I realized that there was just this place to, I recognized how much I was holding my heart because there's so much unknown, and for 6 months, it's been fine for me in a way, but I realized, 6 months now has passed and something's a little different. The energy's a little bit different, and I'm not really sure what I need. So I just sat and played with how I was holding my heart and letting the ebb and flow of the laughter, the sorrow, the anger, the disappointment, and all just kind of back and forth.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Judy, doing proactive grief and social justice work and play with my pup. Great balance. Great balance. Sharon says, in the summertime, I spend a lot of time in the pool working with my feelings. I release a lot of sorrow through my tears, then feel gratitude for the release, which brings peace. Nice, Sharon. Thank you. Kristen says, I'm learning to honor my feelings and not judge them. Salt baths are a great place to release. And then Victoria said again, my doggie is a great source of my joy and laughter. Indeed. Okay. So balancing air. Breath of life. I mean, are you taking time to just pull in the breath of life and realize the power that comes with being with the breath, in meditation, of course, but in life, in doing? Do you actually take in as much air as your lungs can hold just in living your life and feeling, especially now with the coolness in the air, just feeling how it fills you? Just a simple thing, but it can be really beautiful. So balancing air is reviewing intention and goals. And I want to speak into that for just a moment because there is a difference. Those of you who know me know I talk about the difference between intention and goals, how intention is something more in the present moment. It's a feeling, it's something that you hold on the inner realm, whereas goals are something that you might set to be a demarcation on your pathway. And so I think it's very important to balance the two of them. Have an intention, and if you also want to have a goal, fantastic. But know that um, there's a difference, and they can come together in a way that does not allow you to judge yourself. Because sometimes we set a goal, we can't quite get there sometimes. If we have an intention to go with that goal, we can be kinder and easier with ourselves. So consider the balancing of intention and goal. It will serve you well. When you're doing your inner work over these next months, consider balancing your imagination with logic. That you want to let your imagination loose, you want to let it free. You want to be able to manifest dreams. And at the same time, are you being a little logical, a little realistic to add to the mix? So that's a little bit of balancing air. If you want to be totally in your imagination and your dreams, I say go for it. And also then just to consider the idea of inserting just a little logic in the whole thing. So any thoughts on that? Anybody want to share from the air realm? Sharon, you're laughing. Anybody have any thoughts about balancing their intentions and goals, imagination and logic?
Bonnie, I really love that logic. The idea of logic is so foreign to me. Truly, I know you laugh, but I'm so working always on balance and trying to integrate the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of my brain, because I really do predominantly work from the right half of my brain with the feelings and the imagination and all of that stuff. And logic is foreign to me, but I do try. I know it's important. The integration of everything is important. But I'm laughing when I'm thinking you said, I can be in, if you want to be in your imagination all the time, you can. And I'm like, to navigate our plane, I think, and to, have the peace that we all look for all the time and want so much. I think we do have to have both. We absolutely do. So I work on it. My husband's a good teacher because he doesn't have a right brain. He works predominantly from the left, and he's very logical, and every scientific and that all has to make sense. So you can imagine what a fun life we have together. Being such opposites, polar opposites. Yeah.
Nice
but thank
balance.
you. That's important.
Nice balance, Sharon.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. Sandra said, delightful, Bonnie. Sandria said, if I pay attention, I find that my intentions change from day to day with the same goal. That's great. Love that. Melinda says, allow myself to imagine open possibilities. And Catherine Astar says, opening back up to dreams and imagination. Mm-hmm. Sue Ann says, I will do a Zoom presentation in a few weeks, and now I'm carefully watching what you're doing and getting inspired. I'm better able through this to set appropriate goals for myself about this workshop. Thank you for being a great example. Thank you, Sue Ann. I really appreciate that. I honestly, if you want to dream, by all means, this is a great time to do that, um, because we are dreaming of a better time, a more peaceful time, a more loving and inclusive time. And if we hold that intention and begin to set a goal of being able um, to be more open, more loving, encouraging people to use their own imagination for their higher good, it's going to have some really wonderful results. Thank you all for your comments. All right, let's see what we've got with fire. Balancing fire. Fell in love with this picture. I sat mesmerized for quite a while. Going and stopping, day and night. Running your full chi, and also being able to carry a lower vibratory chi. In other words, there's a time for running full out, and there's a time for not putting the fire out, but letting it simmer, letting the ember settle down a little bit. Flame and ember, let it balance. So I noticed we have a comment. I want to find that. Oh, we have lots of comments. Okay. Catherine the Star, dream the new earth into reality. Thank you, Catherine. Sandra says, I learned Ho'oponopono from Judy and you, and I do it every night in bed with deep breathing and holding breath, release. I forgive myself each evening and say to myself, tomorrow is a new day. Fabulous, Sandra. One of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves is forgiveness. So how do you balance your fire? Do you go until you drop? Or do you learn to be really active and honor a quieter time? Let the fire simmer down just a little bit, because you can cook over a low flame. It just takes a little longer. So, any thoughts about fire? Can unmute.
I just unmuted. Right now, the fire is, I am conscious of fire because of the flaming fires and the roaring fires on our western coast, the destruction it has brought to not only our earth, but to the homes and the people who are now homeless because of this fire. So that, I think, has made me more aware of the power of fire and how destructive it can be. When I think of fire, most of the time I think of it as cooking, but looking at that, I see the destruction it can, and that's Mother Nature, that for the most part, taking care of itself, trying to refurnish or refurbish the earth, but it has become so destructive.
Yeah.
And part of it is part of the human persona who have moved into the space where the forests are no longer able to take care of itself.
And I think that brings to mind the need to respect fire so deeply, and that goes for the fire within us as well.
Exactly.
It can be finite or it can be infinite. It seems that the fires in the West are going and going and going. Eventually they will stop after they have done what it is that fire does. So let us learn from that we don't want to let our fire burn until there's nothing left. We want to respect it and we want to honor it.
And can I say something, Bonnie? Because
Sure.
Yesterday my church commissioned 31 people as Stephen ministers. So that has lit a new fire in 31 people internally. We won't be getting our assignments until October, but this is the time of that slow cooking that you just mentioned, to kind of let everything that we've spent the last 6 months trying to acquire to lead us go into this ministry of where we don't know what we're going to meet. So it's going to be an interesting time. But I think that you talked about the embers, and I think that's where I would put myself. I don't know the rest of the group, but now I'm slowly percolating.
Good, good. Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. Sandra says, slow food is my jam. Victoria
Wonderful.
says, as the heat of summer fades, I'm reveling in the coolness of autumn, knowing that I will later long for the heat of the fire. Sue Ann said, in my meditation this morning, I watched the candle burn down to its last. I was amazed at how long the last little flame lasted. This turned out to be a very valuable metaphor for me. Even a little flame can be enduring. Judy says, I allow myself to start slow in the morning and sit on the floor in the later evening to encourage an action and rest cycle. Fantastic, Judy, thanks. Nanette walks in the early morning when I have more energy and feel more vibrantly aware, and I get the morning sun's fire. Then I take breaks and or naps later in the day when my energy fades. Fabulous. Sharon says, fire, the great transformer in all alchemical processes. Victoria said, from the barbecue grill to the slow cooker. Kristen, I actually spent my morning learning to make soy candles infused with Reiki and crystals for meditation, finding balance in being and doing Reiki energy. Nice. Sandra said, oh, that's cool, Kristen. We should do that, Judy and Bonnie, make soy candles. Okay, we'll put it on the agenda, Sandra. Thanks. All right, good stuff. And come on, little spirit. Thought about this a lot before I created this slide. To balance spirit for me, I believe that I need to embody spirit and that it's separate from how I practice my spirituality. So that I carry within me a relationship with spirit that I then balance by practicing it out in the world. So I found that to be a helpful way of knowing that spirit can manifest in many different ways in my life and perhaps in yours as well. So just take a moment, if you will, and consider the difference between embodying spirit and practicing your spirituality. See where that takes you. And then I'd love to have some comments you'd like to share. Anything coming up for anyone? Okay, we have a chat. Victoria says, I love your vision of it, the inner and outer. Thank you, Victoria. Bonnie, I'm not sure I understand. Can you give an example? Nanette asked. So thanks, Nanette, for that question. I have a very personal internal relationship with the God of my understanding. And I carry that kind of a torch within. And to balance it, I want to express it in the world with kindness and compassion, with teaching and learning. And that, you know, Judy and I and those of us who worked with Christy Gray talk about being the teacher and the taught. And I think that is a pretty profound learning from spirit. That help, Nanette? Victoria says service to others. Definitely. Melinda said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I thought someone else was speaking. The spirit, embodying spirit is something within me. That's my internal guide that what you just said allows me to practice what my spirituality is, and that's kindness, gratitude, giving to others, being a servant, which is what I was called to be. And that is from my own understanding of me and the spirit that I relate to.
Thanks, Catherine. Melinda said, practicing gives me structure as I live life embodying spirit with thought, words, and deeds. Lovely, Melinda. Sue Ann says, I see embodying spirituality as how I show up for what is among community, being as open as I can be. My spiritual practice is inner work I do consciously every morning. Awesome. Beautiful, y'all. Judy says, when I embody spirit, I am acting on guidance and, whoops, it's flipping. Hold on just a second. When I embody spirit, I'm acting on guidance and service. When I practice my spirituality, I'm listening and creating practice and ceremony. Fabulous, Judy. Nanette says, I pray and receive guidance from spirit and my angels, receiving love and compassion and healing. I give to the world my inspirational writing full of love and gratitude for all that we are. Beautiful. Thank you, Nanette. And we have another one coming up. Sharon said, body has a more dense, restrictive energy, solid structure. Spirit is unencumbered and flows freely. Spirit is vital life force energy. It is breath. Awesome. Kristen says, I embody spirit by being a vessel of love and trusting my intuition. You all have got it. Fantastic. Okay. I'm inspired by all of you. So let's take a few minutes here. I'm going to put on some music. And as you contemplate what we've been sharing, in what areas of your life do you feel like you're really well balanced, and where do you feel like you're rocking it? Also, where do you feel out of balance, and why do you think that is? Give yourself one action item to bring things back into alignment. I'm going to put on a little music and see what comes up for you. Around those questions. Where do you feel like you're rocking it? Where do you feel out of balance and why? And give yourself one action item to bring things back into alignment. So we'll give you a few minutes. Take about 5 minutes.
On the other song is starting.
Yep. Okay. Anybody want to quickly share? Where are you rocking it? Victoria says she's attending online events quite frequently and sharing actively during them. They have not been initiating healing sessions via Zoom to offer Alana Fairchild healing templates. I will brainstorm an event to offer, including what audience I choose to attract and facilitate. Cool. So brag on yourself a little bit. Where are you rocking it?
Reaching out to friends by phone and notes during this time of enforced seclusion, and people that I have talked to in years have responded in kind, and that has been an inspiration.
Fabulous, Catherine. Thank you. Lisa says lots of new business coming in, and I'm feeling so grateful. Congratulations, Lisa. Andrea says, I sit with emotions that are up with acceptance and then ask for the lesson. Fantastic. Nanette, rocking it with my creativity and imagination, close to completing my first draft of a new book and bringing in new clients. Want to take more time to get closer to Mother Earth and breathe, smell, taste the outdoors. Awesome, Nanette. Linda says, doing lots of online group work, trainings and classes, and finding my way of passing on the gifts. Fabulous. Sue Ann says, I'm doing great with my individual spiritual practice, inspirational writing that sometimes goes out to many friends. Where I need to step forward is learning about virtual presentations. I really resist it, but I know I must take this step. So I just say, Sue Ann, make it a choice. Maybe you would choose to take this step. Okay. We're going to move on. Accepting yet another birth-death cycle, because that's exactly what's happening right now. Spiritually speaking, fall represents the harvest time of year, a time to acknowledge growth and expansion as a natural evolution of being. Our lives go through cycles of growth, harvest, death, and rebirth, just as we see in nature. But we can really make this time of fallowness, if you will, a time for really deciding what seeds are going to be planted when we get to Imbolc in February. Oh, got a chat coming in. So Ann said, thanks. I can make it a choice when I feel the impulses I do now and follow my curiosity. Thanks, Bonnie. Okay. All right. So let's just go a tiny bit deeper here before we close. Talk about a little deeper explanation. When we go into this time, we've already decided to make some room within ourselves. And the more we can let go, the more space we have and the opportunity to really build our strength to get that ball over the net next time. So just ask yourself, what are you ready to let go of? And what do you need to shed in order for new life to grow? So just contemplate that for a minute. I want to be respectful of your time. And so if you have a quick response, I'd love to know it. You can certainly email me later if you want to share and share some ideas. And I'm glad to be available to you. What will you let go of? I'm going to let go of some fear because I've been dealing with it. Time to let it go. Okay. This upcoming song is called, whoop, I jumped it too fast. Cynthia said, let go of judgment of myself and others. Yay. Lisa says, I'm letting go of old relationships that are not healthy for me. Fantastic. Beautiful. Letting go of self-doubt, Nanette. Yeah. I know most of you on the call, I know you're amazing. Be knowing that. Be knowing that the gifts you bring, no one else can bring. No. Okay. So this song is called 21st Century Priestess. Judy and I were granted permission by Jahan, who is the creator of this music. And I looked up her name and it means the world is gracious or God is gracious. And I love that. I wanted to share that with you. So I think you all have processed a lot of information today. And I think it's really important that you take it from your head down into the cellular level of your body by dancing to release the things that aren't serving you and to bring into your body everything from today that has made a difference for you. So here we go. We're going to get the music going. Get up. As much as you feel able to move, please do so. Certainly welcome to turn your camera off.
I am a priestess, here to serve you, devoted to the mystery of love. With my body, my heart, with every breath. I drink from an endless well. Every breath a kiss from the divine lover. I breathe, the wind blows. I undulate with the sea. I tremble and the earth moves.
Whew. Okay. So, as we get ready to close, we're moving into the darker months of the year. And it is through this time that we can utilize our energy to look ahead, really take in that this has been a time of spiritual harvest, and that we really are, after today, ready for what lies ahead, where we can handle whatever comes up for us. We can use our intentions to make these months really meaningful. Call on your angels and your guides to give you inspiration. Ask the elements to support you as you move forward in this time. They will be there. They will help. Sometimes we think we have to do it all alone, and we do not. Not only are the elements and spirit and our guides available, but so are your sisters on the path. And please don't hesitate to reach out to them, to me, to Judy Keating, to all of the wonderful leaders who are on this call. That's what we're here for. So how are you going to honor the months that are coming up? Just a few ideas: meditation, contemplation, prayer, planning. Make this a really rich time and feel enriched by the work you've done today and what you're carrying with you into the months ahead. Remember to balance the sorrow with the joy. Remember to play. Remember to let the fire go down just a little bit and slow cook, as well as letting the fire come up. And certainly thank Mother Earth for all the abundance that we have every day, every season, every year. And if you want to reach out to me, there's my email, bonnie@wisetransformation.com. And join us on our website, wisetransformation.com. So grateful to all of you for the time that you've been willing to spend with us this afternoon. Love to hear from you. A final thought before we sign off for the day. So if you have a word or a phrase that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it. Lisa says, hug. Mwah, Lisa. Can unmute. All right. Melinda said nourished and ready to move forward. Judy said abundant seeds. Sandra said
Take time to enjoy the beautiful fall.
Thanks, Catherine. Sandra says bellissima, Bonnie, and Judy grazie mille. Catherine says renewal. Catherine a star. Thanks, Catherine. So as we thank, more coming, more coming. No, Fast and Furious. Cynthia said grateful for your wonderful inspiration, open to oneness of all from Zandria. Nanette says looking forward to the splendor of fall. Thank you so much. Sharon said, so grateful for this honoring of the autumnal equinox, your beautiful facilitator. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Lisa says, in the Scandinavian word for coziness during the darker, it is the Scandinavian word for coziness during the darker, colder times of the year. Blessed be. From Victoria, Sue-Ann said, I feel more energetic, invigorated, more positive about taking on things that I find daunting. Thank you. Thank you, Sue-Ann. Lisa said, thank you so much, Bonnie. Beautiful ceremony. Thank you all. Victoria, the dance has me rocking. Cool. So thanking the elements as we close, thanking spirit, our teachers and guides, angels, all that is. And as Catherine Astaris just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Go forth, be well. Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine.
Have a beautiful day.